come and spend the day with me and see what it's like as a new mom. I'm also a wife and a small business owner. So, speaking of new mom, that's my daughter Aubrey. She is 4.5 months old, and she woke up around 4:30 in the morning. And when she woke up, I was breastfeeding her, and while I was feeding her, she fell asleep. So I was putting her back in her pack and play, and that's the Nuna pack and play. We have that in our room, and it's really convenient. So that's her laying in her pack and play, fast asleep. And I was going back to bed, but before I went back to bed, what I did was I wanted to pump because I was already up, and that's my husband waking up and just checking on me just to see if I needed anything. And he just went right back to sleep. So I told him I was all set and I didn't need anything. So it took him a couple seconds because it was really early in the morning. But because I was already up and breastfeeding my daughter, I just decided to pump. And what I do too, the night before, especially if I'm really tired going to bed, I usually pack like the pump, all the pieces to the pump, the bottles, pretty much everything that I need to pump and store the milk, and just put it right next to me at my bedside. So if my daughter wakes up and I'm already up, I'll just pump and just make it easier for myself. And this was one of those mornings. And when I was finished pumping, I was just taking all the pillows off the bed because, as you know, it's for me at least, I like to be comfortable while pumping, and those pillows kind of help to keep me comfy sitting up in bed. So after that, I brought the milk that I pumped to the kitchen to store, because the last thing you want to do is forget to store the milk. So yeah, I brought it to the kitchen to store. And if you're joining me, thank you for being here, and I really appreciate you being here. And if you enjoy any of my content, or if you enjoy seeing us, watching us, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and that really means a lot to me. So that was me going back to bed, and I was so tired and I just went right back to sleep. I fell asleep. So after that, I woke up a few hours later, and then when I woke up, my husband was gone for the day. And I just remember being so exhausted and just tired. And he came to just, chat with me before he left, to let me know, like, he walked the dog, he fed the dog. And I pretty much just mumbled a few words. And I don't remember what I said to him, but I just remember being so tired. And that's Aubrey. She was wide awake, and she's really good about waking up and pretty much like entertaining herself and just being quiet and waiting for me to wake up and check on her. And that was us greeting each other with our morning smiles. I mean, look at her little face. She is the best. Honestly, she's the best baby. She really is. She's just really patient. And I'm so happy and grateful. And that's our dog Daisy, sneaking out from under the bed. So yeah, once I woke up, I pretty much just gave Aubrey her kisses and greeted her and brought her into her nursery. So that's her crib. She has her crib, and she did sleep in her crib once she was around 3 months old. But as soon as she started rolling over, we brought her back up front because the crib wasn't lowered. Like, as you can see, the crib hasn't been lowered, and she's been rolling over and kind of holding on to the top of the crib just to be safe. We took the pack and play and basically set that up. So that's why she was in our room. But once we get the crib set up, meaning lower the crib where it's safer for her, then we'll move her back into her crib. So yeah, and I was just pretty much taking off her sleep sack from the night before and just getting comfy with her in the morning. This is her time, this is the time for us to bond. So I usually don't rush in the mornings with her. Just try to spend as much time with her as possible because I think she needs that. That's how we engage, that's how we interact, and just our bonding time. So I was getting ready to just breastfeed her because she's not really big on eating early in the morning, but I try to make sure that, I keep an eye on that and make sure I feed her. And she fed for like a few minutes. She was breastfeeding for a few minutes and she was pretty much done. And if it's up to her, she could wait at least 2-3 hours before she even eats anything. So after breastfeeding her, I changed her diaper, and that was her diaper, that she had on from the night. So I changed her diaper and put her back. I put her in her crib just to give her a little time to herself. And also at this allows me to kind of get set up to pump. That's an opportunity for me also to pump and just unwind for a little. And that's me unwinding, if that's even considered unwinding. So I was reading a little, just, catching up and, decompressing from the night before and just waking up so early and just being a new mom. It's a part of being a new mom. So that's my time to myself with her being close by so I don't have to worry. So once I was finished pumping, I stored the milk in a bottle. And because she doesn't like to eat early in the morning, even if she only breastfeeds for a few minutes like she did, I usually pump and try to feed her a little more. So it was around 4 ounces that I pump, and she took about 2 more ounces she drank. And she should be able to finish the 4 ounces, but again, she's not really big on eating early in the morning. It's as if she needs to work up an appetite in order to actually, consume her breakfast, which is kind of funny and cute. It reminds me of like when I used to go to the gym and working out and then coming home and having breakfast. So after that, I pretty much brought her to her pack and play. This is her, not her pack and play. This is her play gym, which is the Love Every play gym. And she absolutely loves the play gym. We actually received this as a gift. We had it on our baby registry and we received it as a gift. And this is her time for her to play. Look at her. She loves being in here. It's just really exciting for her, if you can tell by her little legs just moving. And I usually play with her in the beginning for a few minutes, and then I leave her alone so she can have some independent playtime, because I really think that's important for her, just to be able to entertain herself and just be by herself. And maybe that's one of the reasons why she's able to wake up in the mornings and just lay in her crib or her pack and play and wait for me to wake up, where she doesn't make a sound. She just lays there and wait. So that's her playing. And while she was playing and having her independent playtime, I snuck into the kitchen, and it was a great time for me to make a little breakfast, a quick breakfast. So I was just making a little black tea. I haven't had coffee since I found out I was pregnant. So it's been way over a year since I've had coffee, and I love coffee, but because I want to be mindful of my gut and I'm also breastfeeding, then I choose not to drink coffee. It's just a personal choice. No one told me I needed to do this, but I know that coffee is probably not the best thing for my gut. So that's why I'm doing black tea, and I do like healthier stuff too, like spirulina or golden milk. But this was black tea I was having this morning with a little cardamom, because I absolutely love cardamom. It's one of my favorite spices, and just a little almond milk. So that was my tea unsweetened, and I was just having a little fruit. So I did a little fruit, and Aubrey was fussing a little. So what I did was I picked her up and I brought her into the kitchen to join me for a bit. And she's actually I'm putting her in the Bjorn bouncer, which also I will list these products, the products that I'm using, the products that I'm mentioning. I will try to list as many of them as possible in the description. So if you guys are interested, you can check them out. But yeah, so she was just there hanging out with me, and I was interacting with her, showing her what I was doing. And sometimes I'll let her even touch the stuff that I'm making, like for sensory. I was showing her my breakfast and just talking to her, and she loves that. And maybe because she knows that I do that, that's why she fussed a little for her to join me in the kitchen. So that's my breakfast: nuts, a little fresh fruit, and some coconut yogurt. And that's Aubrey just hanging out right there. So yeah, once I was finished making my breakfast, then I decided to just check my email quickly, because as mentioned, I am a small business owner and I sell my products on Amazon. So it's Judine's Granola, and my name is Judine, so hence the name Judine's Granola. And my store, I have my own store on Amazon. It's the Just Judine store, Just Judine, Judine. That's me. So if you guys are interested and curious, please check that out. It is delicious, and everything is made here in Florida by me, handmade, small batch. And yes, I am a classically trained chef, so I promise it's delicious. So yeah, I was just having my breakfast and checking my inventory on my Amazon store to see what products I needed to restock. And it wasn't really, it was a few minutes. I knew I had a long day, or pretty much a busy day ahead of me. So I just wanted to just check in briefly before I got to my facility, so I could just get that out of the way and arrive at the facility with my list, so I would know what products to pull from the facility to send to Amazon. So what I was doing here too, once I finished checking my email or in my inventory for Amazon, I pretty much just went into the kitchen, and she's really good about hanging out in her Bjorn bouncer. So I put her back into the spot that she likes where she can interact with me and just, engage. So that keeps her really chill. And she doesn't use a pacifier. She's actually never used a pacifier. And when she was born, we did put that on our list at the hospital of things not to do. So she's never used a pacifier. She's able to just hang out and I guess do her own thing and entertain herself without that using a pacifier. But no, this was a perfect opportunity for me to unpack the dishwasher and pretty much just tidy up a little and just, get as much done as possible. Because one of the things I do enjoy doing is I don't like to wash dishes, but I like to have a clean sink in case I make it home and I want to just head into the kitchen and cook. So I don't like to clean up before I cook, so I always try to have a clean sink. So if I come home and I want to make a quick 30-minute meal, then it just feels really easy and effortless by having a clean kitchen and a clean sink. So this was a great opportunity for me to just empty the dishwasher and just tidy up before, heading out for the day. And pretty much just tidy up whatever I had in the sink, like stuff from the night before and, the baby bottles. And by the way, if you're a new mom or if you've had a baby, one of the things is it's a never ending task of just having baby milk bottles. So I look forward to no longer having to wash those. I cannot wait to not having to wash pump parts or, it's just every day. It's a never ending task. And that's Aubrey just hanging out and waiting. So I was finished. I pretty much got quite a bit done actually while she just sat there and waited for me. So that's the baby brezza that we use to dry the baby bottles once I wash them, and I hand wash everything. And also I can also sterilize. This is sterilizers as well. So yeah, and then I totally forgot that I needed to drink water. So this was a moment for me to just have a nice sip, which felt so good and just glorious. So yeah, that was it for the kitchen, and I just kept on moving because I knew that it would be a long day. So I brought her in her nursery and I was getting ready to get set up for for her bath time. And one of the things too as a new mom that I've learned is just being really prepared, having everything in place, especially when I'm by myself. It just makes it so much easier. So here I was putting all her clothes out that she was gonna wear, her diaper, and just making sure everything was there. And while I was doing that, I did put her in the nursing chair. That's her, cute as can be, hanging out and waiting for me. So yeah, and then it was bath time. So I used this next to the sink area in her bathroom. That's what I used to change her. And this was actually our guest room that we converted to her nursery, which has been working out well. And we don't have a bathtub, so it's a standing shower. So being able to have this bathtub actually is amazing because I don't have to worry about bending. And I did do a series of a part 1 and a part 2 of the newborn must-have. So if you guys are interested, you should totally check those out because I did list a lot of the products with this bathtub in particular that's listed in there. A lot of the products that I've been using that I felt like I couldn't live without as a new mom for newborn and for babies. And I will link that video at the end of this so you guys can check that out too. So that's her in her little bathtub. And when she was finished, it was time to get her dressed, moisturize her. And also her moisturizing lotion is listed in that video as well. And it's amazing because I actually use that lotion as well. I can't get enough of it. It's really good. And just, brushing her hair. And that was it. She was ready to go. She was fed. She was clean, happy, and then it was time for me to tend to myself, or at least do a little bit more before heading out. That's her getting her vitamin D drops, a little drop a day that her pediatrician recommended. And so now it was time to just kind of tidy up the bed a little, just make our bed. And I put her in I placed her in the pack and play, and that's one of the reasons too. It's nice to be able to have that in our room. So when I'm up front, then I can have her close by. And we have a monitor for the nursery, but I don't have a monitor for our bedroom. So it's nice to be able to just have her close by, especially when I'm, taking a shower, or if I need to run into the bathroom. So yeah, she did fuss a little, and I picked her up, and that's why I have her there. Then I just kind of just placed her on the bed, and I was engaging with her because one of the things, like I mentioned, she loves to interact, and her little hands and her little feet are just, you can tell she's happy. And maybe because she knows if she makes a little sound, I'll put her close and just, interact with her. And she just loves to be a part of whatever it is that I'm doing. So there I am, just playing with her. So that's kind of my day, trying to get stuff done. And if she needs to be close, then we just make it, just make it possible for her. So I was getting my stuff ready for the day, like my clothes. And she actually, she was pretty, when she's on the bed and she was close to me, she was pretty good. So I went and got a little milk for her from the night before because it was time for her to eat again. So I gave her, it was maybe around 3 ounces that I had pumped, 3 to 4 ounces that I pumped. And you saw me pumping at like 4:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then she went to sleep. She usually doesn't stay down that long, so I took a really quick shower. It was a really, really quick shower. But when I got out of the shower, she was still asleep, so I decided to do my makeup. And here I was using that's the MAC NC48 concealer, and that's one of my go-to. I was really hesitant to try it because I used to use the NC45, but the NC48 has been working great on my skin. That's the lip liner, and that is Cork, also by MAC, and a little blush by MAC. It's Pinch Me, and this highlighter is Warm Gold by Chanel. Just a little bit goes a long way. And that was pretty much it for my makeup. And also I finished my eyebrows with a retractable pencil by Chanel. It is the 810, the stylo, and it's 810. And I clean up my eyebrows a little with the one of my go-to concealer. It's by Chanel. It's Caramel 91. And that was it, really. Just like a simple no makeup look. I mean, how amazing does that look for like under 10 minutes makeup and just dewy and healthy skin? That's kind of the makeup that I like. Looks like I have nothing on for the most part, but you saw what I did. Barely anything, and it matches my skin. And yeah, guess who woke up? So Aubrey woke up, and then it was time to just get ready to head out. So I felt like I was like on a schedule. I just kept things rolling, and somehow it's just Aubrey was just on the schedule with me. She's just accustomed to being a part of our lives, and we're accustomed to being, having her in our lives. So it has been working well as a new mom so far. So I'm very grateful for that. And we were heading out. We went, we're on our way to my facility. And before I got there, I actually stopped at my favorite seafood market to grab some salmon because I knew I wanted to make like a nice little dinner, and I decided to get salmon. And by the way, that's my granola, Judine's granola. They actually carry it there at that seafood market. And after that, I stopped by my mom's to pick her up because I wanted to have her with me. It was my first time taking Aubrey with me, and I just felt it would be smart to have someone to help me with her while I was packing out the products at the facility. And that was my mom greeting her, and Aubrey just as happy as can be. She's a chill baby. So yeah, I got to my facility and I went right into it. I just started working, packing the stuff up because I had the inventory that I did from the morning. So I knew exactly what products I needed. And this stuff was just going to go straight to Amazon to fulfill my stores. So whenever you guys order, or customers order, Amazon fulfill the orders. And that's it. That is really yummy, by the way. That's a chocolate granola. And on my way back home from the facility, I stopped at Whole Foods. While I was there, my mom was feeding her in the car and just making sure Aubrey was okay. And then I dropped my mom off, and then I made it home. So it was time. It was, getting a little late, and it was time for dinner. But I was unpacking all the stuff, like the milk bottle that she used while she was in the car, just unpacking the diaper bag, and just kind of just trying to get stuff done so I never have to go back and, clean up after myself or work backwards. And by the way, I borrowed some granola from my facility. Yes, I love the mango granola. So I'm Jamaican, so mango is everything. I love mango. So I borrowed some of the mini mango granola because I did run out, and also the blueberry 10-ounce pack, which I love the blueberry. I love all of the flavors, but I love mango because, I grew up eating mango in Jamaica. And it was time to make dinner. I wanted to make something really healthy and simple, like a quick 20-minute, 30-minute meal. and something I didn't have to really pay attention to. So I decided to do braised red cabbage and seared salmon. So this cabbage is very simple: chopped cabbage, red onions, Granny Smith apple, and that was me grating the apple, a little salt and pepper, and apple cider vinegar and blackberry jam. That was it, and just cover it up and let it just braise. And the salmon was very easy: salt, pepper, olive oil, pan seared, and that was it. Clean, healthy. Aubrey will be having that in the form of breast milk, so that's really nutritious for her too. And there she is with Daisy, just happy and waiting. And then Dad came home, so that was exciting. I'm always happy when he gets home. And dinner was ready. It took me maybe 20 to 30 minutes to make dinner. And then he started to help at bath time, so I got in the couch or the nursing chair, and I was pumping. And that's Aubrey just, hanging out after her bath time. And yeah, it was time for us to have dinner. Dinner was just waiting, and I did bake some french fries, and that's the cabbage, the braised cabbage. So that was it. I plated our dinner for the two of us, and it was time to just enjoy dinner, and that was pretty much it. So while we were having dinner, Aubrey did get a little fussy, so we gave her a little more milk, and she was tired. It was a long day for her, and it was just time to pretty much get her to go to sleep. It was bedtime. So we finished dinner, and I did help a little because she was fussing, so I did check in to see if they needed anything. And then we just started preparing for bed. I got comfortable, and my husband also, he got comfortable, and Aubrey was still awake. And we don't really let her cry it out. We don't. So we had her in bed with us, and she doesn't sleep in our bed, but we'll keep her until she falls asleep, or if she's not fussing, then we'll put her in her crib or the pack and play. But she was just wide awake, really, and we were just hoping she would just go to sleep because we were trying to read and hang out for a bit. And she was just there, and we were tending to her. We're new parents. It's our first baby, so we're very excited, and maybe that's why we give her so much of us, which I think most parents do anyways, at least I assume they do. And I was just trying to read, and then she was almost on the verge of falling asleep. But then she needed a little more top off, so we gave her a little more. That was actually formula, because I do supplement with goat's milk formula once a day before bedtime, and this is when she fell asleep. It's just something heavier that hopefully will allow her to sleep through the night. So she fell asleep, and then I was getting ready to just put her down, and yeah, that was pretty much our day. I placed her in her pack and play, and we were ready for bed because we're both so tired. And by the way, if you've made it this far, thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it more than you know. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And thanks for hanging out with me.